What if I told you that the agonizing, tight nighttime calf cramps that violently tear you out of a peaceful rest at 3 a.m., the stubborn, heavy pooling fluid that turns your ankles into puffy tree trunks every morning, or that deep, crawling numbness freezing your feet beneath the sheets, has absolutely nothing to do with your legs simply becoming naturally worn out, decaying, or broken by chronological time? Instead, what if the true, clinically proven medical reality behind your exhausting lower body distress is caused by a silent, structural posture error, a state of severe horizontal fluid gridlock, where the modern, deeply cushioned mattresses we choose to sleep on for 8 hours every night act exactly like a tactical blood flow prison, completely flattening your skeletal biomechanics and turning your baseline circulatory highways into a stagnant, oxygen-starved swamp. For millions of older adults over the age of 60 and 70, the transition from active daytime living to nighttime sleep is no longer a sanctuary of deep restorative healing, but a continuous source of intense physical anxiety. You lay your body down, hoping to rejuvenate your vascular network, yet within a matter of hours, the quiet internal suffocation begins. Your toes start to strike with unexpected electrical shocks, your shins feel locked in a vise of icy coldness, and you are forced to drag your heavy, wooden legs out from the blankets, desperately walking across the floor to force the circulation back down past your knees. By morning, you wake up feeling utterly depleted, navigating your first steps with immense stiffness and a terrifying sense of balance instability. Your immediate instinct is to look for temporary chemical defenses before turning off the lights. You swallow a baseline anti-inflammatory pill, apply deep-heating muscle rubs onto your skin, or pull tight hot compression socks up your calves. While these localized approaches attempt to calm the surface pain receptors, you quickly uncover a frustrating, vicious cycle. The deep internal throbbing remains entirely unchanged. Your tissue beds continue to accumulate metabolic waste, and you spend your day completely exhausted because your heart had to work double time all night long just to force blood through a locked, kinked, and heavily congested lower frame. You accept the dangerous misconception that watching your independent mobility shrink is just the standard tax you have to pay for growing older. But as a physician specializing in restorative medicine and systemic longevity, I am standing here today to completely challenge that defeatist narrative with absolute, unassailable clinical evidence. Your vascular highways do not lose their inherent capacity to expand, adapt, and heal the moment you close your eyes to sleep. Your blood vessels are incredibly smart, highly responsive channels. If your legs are cold and starving at night, it is not because they are fundamentally broken. It is because your horizontal alignment has turned your circulatory channels completely offline. When you sleep on an ultra-soft, deeply plush modern mattress, your pelvis and heavy gluteal engines sink deeply backward into the foam. This structural collapse instantly places your hip creases and the delicate arteries running through your groin into a state of continuous mechanical compression. To keep blood tracking smoothly back up to your chest against the pull of gravity, your system relies on an elegant network of deep muscle valves inside your calves. But hours of physical sinking, combined with a total lack of structured skeletal counterpressure, causes these internal valves to completely fail, locking toxic, deoxygenated waste inside your lower limb tissues and cutting your delicate peripheral nerves off from vital oxygen. Today, in this comprehensive, unified medical masterclass, we are going to completely tear down the traditional walls of senior vascular care. We are going to isolate the exact physical and chemical bottlenecks that choke your lower body while you sleep, examine the underlying fluid dynamics, and put a doctor-approved, time-tested Eastern structural protocol into immediate action. I am going to reveal the exact sleeping position Japanese elders have utilized for centuries to naturally boost leg and foot circulation instantly, show you a 5-move seated mechanical sequence engineered to activate your deep muscular pumps, and detail the targeted organic drink parameters you need to implement to flood your lower extremities with an explosion of fresh, pressurized blood flow all night long. Before we uncover the profound anatomical mechanics of this Japanese longevity sleep alignment, if you want to shield your physical freedom eliminate nighttime foot cramps, and secure your long-term independent mobility, please click that subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another senior health masterclass here on the Dr. Robert channel. To truly understand how a simple shift in your sleeping alignment can increase lower body blood flow faster and more effectively than heavy orthopedic braces, we must first analyze the exact trajectory of vascular gridlock that takes place under the surface of an aging frame. If you are completely ready to break the cycle of nighttime leg heaviness, reactivate your sleeping vessels, and wake up with absolute physical lightness with me today, please type 1 in the comments section right now. If not, drop a 0 so I can learn exactly how to optimize these deep clinical masterclasses for your personal lifestyle goals. Let's look past the blankets and examine the raw physiology of your nighttime circulatory loop. Every single contraction of your heart drives oxygen-rich blood down the massive highway of the abdominal aorta, which splits into the femoral and popliteal channels running through your thighs and knees. In a youthful state, these pathways are lined with high-density elastin proteins, acting exactly like premium, ultra-grade surgical rubber that smoothly stretches and snaps back to pump blood to your absolute lowest extremities. However, as we cross the milestone of age 60, standard modern living patterns trap our circulation in what advanced medicine calls the ischemic clamp. It begins with the hours we spend sitting completely motionless inside soft recliners during the day, which is then severely compounded by the soft, unyielding mattresses we sleep on at night. When you sink into a soft bed, the natural alignment of your lumbar spine is completely lost. Your lower back flattens, your hips lock into an unnatural tilt, and your knees extend into a rigid, hyperextended line. This structural flatness creates a physical bottleneck behind your knee joints, crimping the popliteal artery exactly like a sharp kink in a rubber garden hose. As this mechanical blockage traps deoxygenated, highly acidic metabolic waste directly inside your calf muscle beds for 8 hours, it triggers a profound state of localized hypoxia. At the exact same time, a parallel molecular disaster is taking place inside your vessel walls due to a process called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. When excess processed sugars and hidden starch float through your bloodstream, they chemically bind permanently to the delicate endothelial lining of your inner blood vessels. Think of it exactly like pouring hot, sticky caramel syrup straight down into the gears of a luxury watch. The caramel cools, hardens into a crust, and completely paralyzes your vessel's natural ability to release nitric oxide, the master gas required to relax and dilate your arteries. Clamped down by the sugar crust and choked by the mattress sag, your calf vessels enter a severe spasm, firing off those agonizing nighttime cramps to desperately move the trapped blood. Swallowing a heavy sleeping sedative or a nerve pill merely numbs your brain's capacity to perceive the emergency. It does absolutely nothing to unkink the locked popliteal highways or lift the fluid logjam out of your ankles. To truly reverse leg stagnation and restore perfect nighttime circulation, we must utilize a strategic mechanical intervention. We must align our skeletal framework with a precise, calculated counterpressure method that uses gravity to smoothly drain spent fluids, reopen the locked arterial canals behind our joints, and keep fresh, oxygen-rich blood tracking effortlessly to our toe tips all night long. We have exposed the structural enemies: the mechanical ischemic clamp kinking your major knee pathways, and the sticky molecular sugar crust paralyzing your nighttime endothelial relaxation. While we configure the master sleeping alignment, we must first put our physical framework into immediate mechanical alignment right here in the room before your head ever hits the pillow. Many older adults assume that if they want to improve lower body circulation, they must perform grueling workouts right before bed, which overstimulates their nervous system and ruins their sleep cycle. But in advanced restorative medicine, we understand that forcing a starving circulatory network to run under heavy load without unlocking the joint bottlenecks is an immense clinical error. Today, I am going to reveal our highly strategic, low-impact, 5-move at-home mechanical realignment protocol. These targeted movements are specifically engineered to bypass joint strain entirely, flush out the accumulated daytime fluid pooling, and perfectly prepare your leg engines for an absolute, uninterrupted night of deep vascular recovery. All you need is a firm kitchen chair, a clear wall, and less than 10 minutes of daily attention. Let us break down these 5 corrective movements with absolute clinical precision. Movement 1. The seated soleus hydraulic second heart pump. This is our primary weapon to eliminate lower leg fluid stagnation and instantly activate the deepest circulatory engine in your lower limbs before bed. The soleus muscle, located deep beneath your main calf muscle, contains a massive web of dense venous reservoirs that modern cardiology refers to as the second heart of the human body. Sit completely tall, right at the front edge of your firm kitchen chair. Do not lean your spine back against the comfortable cushioning. Hold your head high, roll your shoulders back, and pull your shoulder blades together to align your posture. Place your feet flat on the floor directly beneath your knees, keeping them perfectly hip-width apart and pointing straight ahead. Keeping the balls of your feet and all 10 of your toes completely glued flat to the ground, slowly and intentionally drive down through your midfoot to elevate both of your heels high into the air. Raise them up until you feel a deep, tight contraction locking along the lower half of your calves. Hold this peak contraction for 2 full seconds. Now lower your heels back down over a 2-second count, touching the floor silently. The exact split second your heels touch, immediately peel your toes and the front of your feet up toward your shins as high as humanly possible, locking the muscles along the front of your shins. Hold for 2 seconds. Alternate back and forth continuously for 90 full seconds. As you pump, imagine your calf acting like a mechanical sponge, forcefully wringing out stagnant blood and pushing it past your venous valves back up to your chest. Repeat for 3 total rounds. Movement 2. The countertop bamboo Achilles tensor. This movement targets the thick, rigid tendons running down the back of your lower ankle, which act like a physical constriction band that bottlenecks blood flow returning from your feet, driving up nighttime systemic resistance. Stand completely tall and proud facing your kitchen counter, a solid table, or a flat wall. Place both of your hands flat on the surface at chest level to serve as your absolute balance security button. Step your right foot backward about 18 to 24 inches, keeping your left foot forward. Keeping your rear right heel completely glued flat into the floor and your right leg perfectly straight, slowly bend your front left knee and shift your entire torso forward toward the counter. Move forward until you feel a deep, intense, warm, lengthening stretch, stretching all the way down your right Achilles tendon and upper calf. Once you reach that point of deep stretch, do not bounce. Hold the position in absolute stillness. Take a deep, 4-second breath in through your nose, expanding your stomach, and as you slowly exhale through pursed lips for 6 seconds, let the tension completely melt away. Hold for 30 continuous seconds per leg. Complete 2 rounds per side. Unlocking this ankle bottleneck instantly drops the hydrostatic back pressure inside your lower leg grid. Movement 3. The seated femoral highway unkinker. This movement is specifically designed to address the mechanical kinking that occurs inside your hip creases from spending long hours sitting in soft recliners, which completely shuts down blood velocity through your massive femoral lines and traps volume away from your lower limbs. Return to your tall, seated position at the front edge of your firm chair. Grip the metal or wooden side frames of the seat tightly with both hands to stabilize your pelvis. Keeping your posture long and your chest proud, slowly elevate your right knee upward toward the ceiling about 4 to 6 inches clean off the ground, exactly like performing a slow-motion march. At the absolute peak of this movement, flex your foot by pulling your toes back toward your shin and hold your legs suspended in midair for 2 full seconds. Do not let your foot drop or slap back down unguided. Lower it down with immense control over a 3-second count, placing the sole flat on the floor like you are stepping onto thin ice. Immediately alternate to your left leg. Execute 10 slow, calculated marches per leg for 2 full sets. This rhythmic compression forces the massive deep lymphatic and venous collection hubs inside your groin to pop open, clearing the fluid logjam before you sleep. Movement 4. The lateral wall-supported pelvic brace. This exercise activates your outer hip stabilizers, specifically the gluteus medius, which control the alignment of your pelvis and prevent your body from swaying side to side. A primary trigger that causes your heart and nervous system to work overtime during the day, carrying accumulated fatigue into the night. Stand tall sideways next to a flat wall or your kitchen counter. Place your inside hand firmly onto the surface for absolute balance protection. Stand with your feet pointing straight forward, touching each other, keeping your torso perfectly upright without tilting your shoulders. Slowly sweep your outside leg out sideways to the side about 12 inches. Keep your toes pointing straight ahead. Do not let your foot twist outward. Hold this lateral suspension for 1 full second at the peak, feeling the muscles on the side of your hip firing tightly. Slowly bring the leg back inward over a 2-second count until your feet touch. Complete 12 controlled lateral sweeps on one side, then turn around to train the opposite leg. Perform 2 sets. Activating these lateral guards gives your body a rock-solid, stable foundation, drastically reducing the hidden sympathetic nervous stress that can manifest as nighttime leg restlessness. Movement 5. The seated carotid carina deep diaphragmatic release. This final pre-bed movement does not target your leg muscles. Instead, it directly targets your autonomic nervous system. It stimulates the specialized neurological pressure sensors located inside your neck arteries, known as baroreceptors, commanding your brain to instantly switch off its stressful daytime adrenaline output and slide into deep sleep mode. Sit completely relaxed but tall in your chair. Rest your hands flat on your lap with your palms facing upward. Close your eyes down completely. Rest the tip of your tongue gently against the roof of your mouth, right behind your front teeth. Slowly inhale a deep breath in through your nose over a quiet 4-second count. Do not lift your shoulders or puff out your chest. Instead, drive the air deep down into your belly, forcing your abdomen to expand outward like a balloon. Hold that deep volume of air in your lungs for a brief 2-second pause. Now, open your lips slightly and slowly exhale that breath out through your mouth like you are blowing through a tiny straw. Extend this exhale over a slow, continuous 7-second count. As you empty your lungs, feel your shoulders drop and your entire nervous system down-regulate. Complete 8 continuous, rhythmic breaths. Extending your exhale longer than your inhale activates your vagus nerve, sending an immediate chemical message down your spine to slow your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, and dilate your lower leg arteries for the night ahead. Now that our physical framework is perfectly prepped and unkinked, let us construct the definitive, doctor-approved overnight solution, the Japanese Shikibuton micro-incline alignment. To completely eliminate horizontal fluid stagnation and ensure a continuous, effortless stream of oxygen-rich blood to your toes all night long, you must permanently abandon the deep, sagging softness of Western mattresses. Instead, you must structure your bed configuration using 3 strict parameters, inspired by traditional Japanese longevity practices. First, you must establish the firm biomechanical base. Traditional Japanese sleeping arrangements rely on a thin, high-density cotton futon, known as a shikibuton, placed directly onto flat tatami mats woven from compressed igusa rush grass. This combination provides a firm, unyielding, flat structural foundation. Because the base does not sag under your weight, your pelvis cannot sink backward, which completely prevents the mechanical pinching of the femoral vessels in your hip crease. If you are using a standard bed frame, you can replicate this by placing a solid wood bunkie board beneath a firm, high-density mattress. Second, you must introduce the Fumoto popliteal micro-elevation. Japanese elders protect their peripheral circulation by ensuring their lower limbs are lightly supported against gravity. You must place a firm, semi-cylindrical buckwheat hull pillow, known as a sobakawa, or a tightly rolled firm cotton towel directly beneath your calves, positioned just below the crease of your knees. The height must be calculated precisely to hold your feet exactly 3 to 5 inches clean above the horizontal level of your heart, using gravity to drain metabolic waste, while the firm buckwheat support maintains a gentle 15-degree flex in your knees. This flex keeps the popliteal artery wide open and unkinked all night long. Third, you must implement the ankle-free vascular release. When positioning the rolled towel or sobakawa pillow under your lower legs, it must end exactly at the lower border of your Achilles tendon, allowing your actual heels and feet to hang suspended freely in mid-air off the edge of the support. This structural suspension completely eliminates any localized mattress counterpressure on your heel skin, allowing the tiny microcapillaries supplying your foot soles to remain fully dilated and open, preventing nighttime numbness from forming. To profoundly complement this Japanese structural sleep setup and soften your rigid artery walls from the inside out while you sleep, you must optimize your evening biochemistry using the nighttime vascular flush protocol. Exactly 2 hours before bed, drink a warm 6-ounce infusion of pure organic celery and ginger extraction. Celery delivers a massive wave of bioavailable organic potassium, which acts as the premier key to activate your cellular sodium-potassium pumps, clearing excess tissue fluid through your nighttime renal pathways. Concurrently, integrate a clean cup of steamed mustard greens or organic beets into your evening meal to fuel your endothelium's natural nitric oxide factories, ensuring your blood vessels remain wide, relaxed, and highly resistant to nighttime spasms. Furthermore, we must secure the fragile transition window when your morning begins. To completely eliminate the high risk of a sudden morning pressure spike or orthostatic fall when stepping out of bed, you must implement the 5-second transition rule the very moment your eyes open. Step 1. The lateral awakening. When you first wake up, do not immediately jump out of bed. Remain flat on your mattress, roll gently onto your left side, and take 3 deep, slow abdominal breaths to allow your baseline heart rate to stabilize. Step 2. The seated equalizer. Slowly push your upper body up and sit completely upright on the absolute edge of your bed frame, allowing your feet to hang down flat toward the floor. Count to 5 slowly in your mind. This 5-second pause gives the specialized pressure sensors inside your neck arteries the exact time window they need to adjust your blood vessel tension against gravity, completely preventing sudden dizziness, blurry vision, and morning falls. Step 3. The priming pump. While sitting on the edge of the bed during those 5 seconds, perform 10 quick rhythmic ankle pumps, peeling your heels up and your toes up. This immediately fires your second heart calf engine, driving fresh blood straight back up to your skull and down to your nerve endings before you stand up. While implementing these powerful physical alignments and optimizing your evening nutrition will drastically lower your fluid stagnation, true medical wisdom requires you to maintain an absolute baseline of diagnostic awareness. You must completely memorize these non-negotiable emergency markers. If you ever experience any of these symptoms, a sudden, rapid increase in swelling that is strictly localized to just one single lower leg or bap-chun, accompanied by intense, throbbing pain, deep redness, or skin that feels hot to your touch, any sudden chest pressure or squeezing deep behind your breastbone, or the sudden onset of face drooping, arm weakness, or slurred speech, stop all activity immediately and seek emergency medical evaluation right away. As a final critical physician's warning on active plant complexes and medications, because vegetables like mustard greens and celery are exceptionally rich in bioavailable vitamin K and organic potassium, you must exercise high precision if you are currently prescribed traditional blood-thinning medications, such as warfarin or Coumadin. Do not make sudden, drastic spikes or drops in your daily consumption of green extractions, as it can alter your clotting times. Maintain absolute consistency and always consult your primary care physician to tailor your monitoring to your healthy, nutrient-dense lifestyle. Living your retirement with true dignity, supreme physical freedom, and absolute peace of mind means taking total command of your daily biological choices. By positioning your framework into precise overnight alignment, keeping your lower leg engines active, and fueling your internal cellular pumps, you are securing the vibrant, independent future you rightfully deserve. Please take a brief moment right now to comment below with your current age, and share which room in your home you are going to audit for loose rugs or safety nightlights first today. Click that like button, share this vital guide with a contemporary who is struggling with nighttime foot cramps or poor circulation, and subscribe to Dr. Robert to safeguard your longevity journey. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your foundation strong daily, and I will see you in our next video.